Chairman Brasso, thank you. Ranking Member Carper, members of the committee, thank you for allowing me to be able to be here today, introduce my fellow Oklahoman, and for Senator Inhofe and I to both be able to stand with him and to be able to introduce who we believe will be a tremendous nominee as Administrator for the Environmental Protection Agency. It's an honor to speak in support of Attorney General Pruitt today. Over the past 6 years, Scott has been a leader in the state of Oklahoma, strongly committed to enforcing the law and adhering to the Constitution. He's a statesman. He's a dedicated public servant. As Administrator of the EPA, I would fully expect Scott to lead the agency to follow every environmental law and to partner with states, local authorities, and tribes to do what's best for our present and for our future. As Attorney General of Oklahoma, he stood shoulder to shoulder with more than half of the states to ensure the federal government operates within the bounds of the statute and the Constitution. He's argued consistently that many regulations the EPA promulgates are in fact the responsibilities of state governments first. In an environment where Chevron deference is precedent, it is critical that the leader of an agency that has such wide latitude to extract costs from the economy also respects the importance of our Federalist Foundation and the pocketbooks of hardworking families. In previous congressional testimony, Scott has emphasized the importance of laws like the Clean Air Act, stressing that the intention was for and the EPA to work together under a model of cooperative federalism that protects the environment while considering economic costs. As Attorney General, Scott has been an ardent defender of the rule of law for Oklahomans. In 2012, he sued British Petroleum, arguing that they knowingly double-dipped through the collection of funds through a cleanup fund despite having insurance coverage for environmental cleanup. He did not hesitate to stand up for his constituents and for his state. Mike Turpin. He's the former Attorney General of the state of Oklahoma and the former chairman of the Oklahoma Democratic Party. He spoke out in mid-December when Scott was first announced. Let me just read a short portion of his very long statement in support of Scott Pruitt. Former Attorney General Mike Turpin, and our former Democratic Party chairman, said, Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt is a good choice to head up the Environmental Protection Agency. I'm convinced Scott Pruitt will work to protect our natural habitats, reserves, and resources. His vision for a proper relationship between protection and prosperity makes him as superbly qualified to serve as our next EPA administrator. Scott is an active member and a deacon at his church, First Baptist Church Broken Arrow, a congregation of almost 2,000 people. He's incredibly strong in his faith, and he strives to walk in integrity. Scott's a serious baseball fan as well. If you run out of environmental or legal questions today, which I doubt you will, but if you run out, why don't you ask him a couple questions about baseball strategy and spring training, which starts in just a few weeks. I have to tell you, Scott's a friend. I prayed with Scott. I've seen Scott struggle with hard decisions that affect our state's future. I've seen Scott listen to people to try to learn all sides of an issue. And I've seen Scott take difficult stands on matters of law. I think he'll be an excellent administrator for the EPA. And I think he'll do very well today in getting a chance to bring you the confidence that he will work hard for our nation's present and for the future.